visuals, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Superhero Wednesday, the day of the week where we just get damn right dirty and nerdy. That could be a cool new intro. Hello visuals, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Superhero Wednesday, the day of the week where we get damn right dirty and nerdy. I like it. I like it a lot. Yes, it is the day of the week where we just talk all this cool, weird and wonderful shit that makes all of us weird and wonderful bastards so happy. And this week, I'm going to be talking about Thor, Love and Thunder with heavy spoilers. My 10 favourite scenes / moments from Thor, Love and Thunder. We've done it with Doctor Strange. We haven't always done it. It's only a new sort of concept for the channel. But I quite like it because he gets a conversation going. And I know as much as I love this film, there's a few people out there that are a bit meh on it. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you people say in the comments, and you can be like, no Dan, you're a dick because this bit was a bit shit, or this bit was great, or this bit was better. I'm curious as to what you'd see. James, I know you're watching. Have you seen it yet? Hopefully you have. Then you can tell me what you think in the comments below, because you like to critique and review films in your own right, from your own point of view. I see you on your little facey books. That's right, I stalk your Facebook, James. I'm like, where's James? I don't really, mate. That's probably really creepy. But yeah, I think we should get straight into it, because I know how these videos usually take quite long, and I am an annoying little twat. But visuals, here are my 10 spoiler heavy favourite scenes / moments from Thor, Love and Thunder. And kicking us off at number 10, it is quite literally the sweetest, funniest moment maybe from the film, or one of the funniest moments from the film. It's the relationship flashback between Thor and Jane Foster, obviously done by Korg. Korg's greatest flashbacks in this, hear the story of Thor, hear the story of the mighty Thor, blah, blah, blah. But this was really fun because it showed you, how they were in a relationship, how they split up during the not early, but the earlier days of the MCU. From being in the house together, watching the films, Thor getting scared of films, going to restaurants, both of them then starting to drift apart. That was gross, sorry. She was called away for science stuff. He would get called away from, Nick Fury and whatnot. You'd hear you'd hear somebody turn up. Like, I know when B turns back up with a car, because what it sounds like. Shane's at home, she can hear Thor turn back because she can hear Mjolnir and him landing and whatnot. And I just thought it was really cool and sweet, and it was nice looking to Thor having a somewhat normal life, having a relationship, house, and all that kind of shenanigans. And I thought it was quite cute and sweet, but it also made me giggle at the bit where they're rollerblade and he's holding Mjolnir and he's drifting him away and whatnot. I thought it was a really cool little flashback sequence, especially narrated by Korg as well, made it even better. Massive spoiler for one of the cutscenes, well not cutscenes, one of the end credit scenes. I do apologise, but it's Hercules, the reveal of Hercules. Hercules, not just Marvel Hercules, but Hercules in general, an awesome character I've always been fascinated with. Love Greek mythology and whatnot. But this is a cool reveal. We know that he will be able to absolutely bang and go toe to toe with Thor. It's going to be amazing. I think it's safe to say, I'm assuming he's eventually going to side with the Avengers and be a good guy later on going forward. Because Thor's here to stick around, he's not dying off, he's not dead, anything like that. They could team up. We know the stuff that they sort of did in certain big comic book issues about with Hercules and whatnot. I'm excited to see how it goes down, but I can't remember the lad's name. I'm excited about the casting as well. He's from Ted Lasso. He's fucking hilarious in that. He's proper football-y, play for Chelsea, defender, you fucking mag, sort of guy. And I'm like, oh my god, you're now Hercules. I think it's a great casting. I can't wait to see what they do with Hercules going forward. And it's the other post-credit scene visuals. It's Heimdall. Yes, he's not in it for age, not in it for long, but it's just so amazing seeing Heimdall again. I fucking adore Idris Elba. I couldn't give a shit about Heimdall. Then Idris Elba became Heimdall. I'm like, yeah, you're badass as fuck. And I fell in love with Heimdall even more. But, it's not so much the whole scene in general. Yeah, Jane got to do a nice thing. Yeah, he's like, yeah, you're welcome, wait for you, blah, blah, blah. It's him. It's Heimdall. It's Idris Elba. Got so excited. I was like, there he is. And he's like, thank you for looking after my son and whatnot. I just love him. So we have to make the list. Next up, it's probably the second funniest joke of the entire film, and it's Korg making his Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson joke. We all hear about how Cronins make babies in the MCU, and Korg explains it all, and you meet another one, you still over love, and you get a baby, blah blah blah. And he goes, I met this bloke called Dwayne, and he's obviously made a rock, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And I know B was in hysterics, I was in hysterics the first time I watched it. I was like, what a joke, it's beautiful, I adore you, Korg. Dwayne The Rock Johnson was technically in the film then, I guess, because he is The Rock, literally. And his name's Dwayne. He had his little moustache and whatnot. Fucking beautiful. Great joke. Loved it. Now, everything sort of involving Zeus. I loved Russell Crowe's Zeus. From his big grand reveal and, you know, acknowledging all the gods. And the Udgy, we have got the Udgy and Thor's interaction with him. And eventually to end him with Cole getting fucked up and Thor being like, boom, smashing with his own thunderbolt and shit. To, you know, you flex so hard, damn it. And he's like, you have to go to the Udgy. And he comes down the stairs with his little... I just thought it was really cool. What a weird and wacky and wonderful Zeus we got. I loved everything that went for, around it. Russell Crowe was a perfect fit. Obviously, he's got a bit of a belly and that going on. You can see he's a little bit like, he's just living off the name and whatnot. He's just sort of being lazy and obviously having mass orgies and being a bit silly and goofy. And, you know, we all just have fun and party and blah, blah, blah. I thought it was really great. I thought Russell Crowe was a fantastic casting. I loved how him and, you know, Thor idolising him to at the end fighting him and, as far as he was aware, killing him, which he obviously he hasn't killed him, taking his fun about and doing one. I just thought the whole scene played out so beautiful. You know, did somebody want to talk? That area down there, that is the stage. Come down. I'm doing a really bad impression. I thought it was really, really fun. So, the whole scene involving Zeus and whatnot, beautiful. Jane Foster revealing herself as the Mighty Thor to Thor, and it's just because I always get in my head that Jane. I just love Thor turning up. You know, they're at New Asgard. They're doing this big old battle with all the shadow fucking creature things, and he sees Mjolnir, and he's like, "Have you seen my hammer?" And he's going around, and then and then he goes back, and then she's like that, ready to go, and she reveals himself, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And then we know how it's happened, but we get to go on this little adventure of who, what, when, what, how, why, blah 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 blah. Haven't seen you in so long. What's been going on? Why is this happening? With this little journey unfolded in front of us, but it's that Jane I absolutely love. You know, Thor even get his helmet on, make it bigger, and all of it was just beautiful. And obviously, it's a cool reveal properly when you get to Chuck Mjolnir and come back and give it, especially ripping through the mouth of a fucking big old monster. Number 4, I would understand if my 4th spot is probably a very annoying spot for you visuals. I would totally get it, but for me, it was pitch perfect, and that is everything to do with the goats. Tooth Gnasher and Tooth Grinder, absolutely hysterical from like the first review. I was doing it in my second showing of the film. I was just sat at the film, and not during the film, don't worry. I was leaving that up to the goats as we were leaving, because one of my mates who I worked with was there. He was like, "You're not a noisy bastard." As we were leaving, going downstairs, I'm going, but just from their arrival, for getting them on the Guardian ship, they're like, "We'll eat them," and they're like, "No," and he's like, and Drax is probably loving it, wrestling with one of them. It's such a funny joke to keep going back to. Like I said, I could see how some people were like, "Bloody hell, they've got to." It was funny now, finish it. But I absolutely adored every single part of it. They come streaming through the big window past Zeus and they're going absolutely nuts. But I love the bit even more when they get to the Nightmare Realm. And then they hit the planet, the rock, and then it's silent for about a second. Just and you're like, oh my god, you're about to meet the God Butcher and do battle and whatnot, and you boys are absolutely screaming your face off. It was fucking absolutely outstanding. I love them little fuckers, and I hope to God they're there in the future for future films, whether it just be Thor standalone or somehow another Guardians or an event, whatever we do. I want Thor to rock up with them bad boys because they are fucking amazing. Next up, we're into the top 3 now. It's Gauze Reveal. It's not completely different. Aesthetically, it's a completely different gore to what we have in the comics. But I fucking think Christian Bale absolutely crushed this. And I love how we go from at the start, he's in the desert with his daughter, and you know, they're dying, and eventually she does die, starvation and thirst and whatnot. And then he finds a bit of water and shit when he gets to his sun god, and he's like, oh, you're the thingy. But then he's like, the god's property, oh, he's one of mine. And he renounces him as his god. And then the Necro sword finds him and then stabs him, kills him, and then his sudden change, the more pale skin, he's like, I make this foul, all gods will die, must die, whichever one it is. And that big reveal, because I thought, okay, here we go, now we're ready to get this big, epic, badass villain inside of the MCU, who I thought was absolutely outstanding. I fucking loved him. But that sudden from, what could you call it, pitiful? Well, he was just fucking, he was absolutely starving and fucking thirsty in that. But from being like dead, you know, oh, and begging and please help, blah blah blah, to I'm going to take this upon myself to fucking absolutely fuck all of you pricks up that left us abandoned. Because he's quite justified, I guess, in terms of why he's doing it. Well, not even I guess, he is justified. The gods abandoned him and his daughter died and he suffered and whatnot. But yeah, Gauze Reveal was just from heartbreak to know you've lost your daughter to, okay, shit's at the fan, that we're getting serious now, here we go. Next up, it's the whole entire opening, well, not opening scene, but, you know, close to opening scene with the Guardians. That was just amazing. The little flashback stuff where, you know, because Korg's obviously narrating, and they're having battles like in the water pit, Quill's shooting away, and Thor's just like, to other battles. So the battle we actually get to see with against like the owl fucking things, and the Guardians are shooting, they're like, we need Thor, and Thor sat there meditating, like, okay, here I come, and how they interact, and even Star-Lord knows Thor's speech. He's like, yeah, and he's sort of saying it, but then he starts to get a little bit carried away with himself, the way he's fighting, he spreads his legs out, and the guy's like, oh, okay, blah, blah, blah. So even eventually when they're leaving, Thor gives Star-Lord gives a speech, and Thor's like, take this ship, and he's like, oh, you're giving me my own ship. Everything to do, I think they work so well, this weird and goofy and wacky version of Thor that we get. The comic relief bouncing off with the Guardians, all directed by Taika Waititi. It all works so beautiful. I hope Taika Waititi can... Obviously, James Gunn will do a great job with Guardians, but I wouldn't mind if Taika sort of sprinkled a little bit of his magic and comes in, do you want me to have a go? Or sprinkle some cool stuff in? I think that would really work if they worked on a film together. It'd be fucking amazing. But yes, anything that's involved with the Guardians in this, just... beautiful. So the opening scene, well, second opening scene with the Guardians and shit, outstanding. And finally, it's the battle on the Nightmare Realm. The absolute beautiful cinematography in this was just fucking outstanding. We know that obviously it's where the goats hit and go rah, and they're off to go fight Gore. But it's the black and white tone. It's this small, it's just a big rock. It's not even really a planet. It's just this big rock, curved rock. Obviously it's round. Oh no, wait, it's flat. But Gore summons these monsters, and there's this big battle ensuing. And you only get catches of glimpses of light when, you know, there's a bit of thunder or a bit of Zeus's bolt or whatever sparking up everywhere. And it just looks so great that the film felt dead silent when you got there. It was so dark. Because, you know, the Thor speaks of how it's void of any colour. It just literally sucked all the colour out of everything. And Thor, throughout most of the films, rocking this beautiful blue and gold suit. And all the colour from it's gone. And I love the black and white moment where, you know, Thor looks over and is like... And Gore's like... And it's just... Oh, and then you get the sparks and the bolts and the monsters and whatnot. It just looks fucking outstanding. I said it in my review. Both my reviews, I think. The spoiler and non-spoiler reviews. It just looked absolutely insanely beautiful. And I truly mean this. It's one of the most visually pleasing and epic scenes from a film I have ever seen. It's definitely in my top 5 without a shadow of a doubt. It's absolutely sickeningly beautiful. So yeah, that's my number 1 scene / moment from Thor: Love and Thunder. There we go, visuals. That was my 10 favourite scenes and moments / and all moments from Thor: Love and Thunder. Yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below about not only my list, but what do you think of the film in general? Did you like it, not like? Was it one of your favourites, one of your least favourites? Because I actually have heard some negative things, which is obviously you can't be positive about everything. You can't be like me, but like everything's great, I love it. You're going to have your own thoughts and opinions. And let me know what you think of the film as a whole, because like I said, you might think it's absolutely awful or whatnot. I don't know, but visuals, thank you so much for watching. If you don't mind, could you please Wabooski or Booski on this video? And we'll be back next week for, I don't know, maybe a comic book review. We've got some comics I need to read down there. You know, we'll see what happens next week. Visuals, thank you for watching. You guys are the rest of my keep in it and keep it out. I don't know what that was.